Now, before we start, I want to share this video for educational purposes only, and an important topic of conversation which has probably come about at the right time. I do not have any ill will towards anyone, and that's why I haven't mentioned any names. I don't want this to be drama fueled or a continuation of bad energy. I want to turn this around for the greater good and actually encourage healthy discussion and leave it here, basically, so we can move on from it. That's how I deal with things personally. Whilst someone might say you didn't need to post this video, for my own reasons, I felt it's good to talk about. And lastly, the person in question has had a chance to talk about this and discuss. Sadly, they don't want to admit or take accountability, and that's fine. I've removed the comments from my page as I feel like it's unnecessary to have any reason for people to know who they are, and we don't need that energy, I guess. I hope they can learn from this, and I wish them well, but in the wider discussion, I hope that people can also learn or relate to this, or at least acknowledge that this is a thing. Anyway, thank you for your time, and let's get on with the actual body of the video. Hello friends, my name is Phoebe. I am a content creator on YouTube, and I love to talk about music and how that makes me feel and share that with others. I also like to talk about important subjects, and this is a little bit of an uncomfortable one for me, but I feel it's necessary. Now, I want to start by saying I wish no ill will to anyone, and I don't want anyone chasing anyone on socials or saying anything untoward. This is more for educational purposes and just talking a bit about AI, really. I think AI is a very dangerous tool if used in the wrong way, and it's a strange subject to be talking about. The reason this came about was I had a member of the community say that they saw a thumbnail that looked very similar to mine, and were a bit confused about it, and upon inspection I was like, oh yeah, that looks kind of similar. On a closer look, someone had simply put their face over mine, and it was very obviously amended. I have a thumbnail that looks like this, and the text at the top here was exactly the same. The still of the video was also the exact same, which is quite mad when you've got a lot of video in that particular video. But this was covered up, and I'm not going to show you the original because I respect that is their work, and I don't want to cause any upset in that. This is merely for educational purposes, but you could see this area of my headset still there, and you could see the kind of bright white in the background. This, obviously, to put someone's face over this would mean that would cover up this text here, so they did change the text to put something on the right hand side. I was flattered. I wanted to, on one hand, I wanted to reach out to the person and call them out for it, but in a respectful way, and to say I'm flattered you would do this, but you know, like they don't have to use other people's work, or they don't have to use an AI tool to do that. I also found there were a couple of other videos in there that had basically used other thumbnails, and it really got me thinking, because there was one that was very obviously, these are very obviously done. You can tell that things have been amended. There was one that was pointing an arrow to a vocal coach, and in the amended one it just had arrows kind of going round in a circle, but the main body of the thumbnail was the same. And there are a couple more which I've kind of kept to one side just for evidence, I guess. I understand if I were called out, if I had done something like this, which I wouldn't, but if I were called out on it, there are many ways a person would react, right? And sometimes, sadly, people might react and take it badly, or think that you haven't got their best interests at heart, or twist it because they've been called out. Oh my God, this is the worst thing in the world. How do I cover this up? I did reach out to them, and I did say I'm honoured, I'm flattered you would do this, but and I'm honoured that I'm the inspiration. And they played dumb to it, which is fine, and then deleted all my comments from their page. And hey, if we want to cover up the problem, that's fine. And then they decided to come over to my page, and I guess I'm not safe from saying this is not drama, because it's very uncomfortable for me because I'm not used to this. But I wanted to talk about it in a healthy way. I don't want to cover it under the rug. And then I was kind of accused of lying, accused of wanting clout from someone else, and told that I'm lying, and Jesus' name was brought into this, which I feel is quite unfair, bringing religion in and blaspheming, and then saying that I stole this work. So I just want to clarify, my work was shared much sooner than the person's, and the other thumbnails I've seen, one was from 2 weeks ago, and the copy of that was one was from 2 years ago, and the copy of that was 2 weeks ago. One was from a year ago, and then the copy of that was 1 day ago. Mine, I had one that was I don't even know how many, a couple of weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago, and that was 6 days ago. So people will know. I'm not worried about that people will know where the truth lies. My worry is that people won't take accountability for their actions, and kind of attacking as a response is quite, it makes me sad, because I do want the best for other people. I want other people to succeed. If music is something they're passionate about, if reacting is something they're passionate about, I want them to do well. But plagiarism just isn't it, you know? And then kind of tearing me down, attacking me as a fellow woman, I don't know, it just feels wrong. Turning the blame around, deflecting, which is quite a common response when someone has been called out for their actions. None of us like it. Absolutely none of us like it. I don't like to be called out or be told I'm wrong, or be told that I've done something to upset someone. But I've learned that's rejection sensitivity dysphoria as well, that can play a huge part in that. So please look into it. It's basically, you can do something mildly annoying to someone and they will make a comment, and you will think that the world has ended as a kind of overreaction to what they've said, rather than just say, oh my God, I'm so sorry, that won't happen again. Or, you know what, I hold my hands up, I'm not gonna make this any worse, that won't happen again. There's more respect there, I think. And it's hard. It is hard to accept and admit that. I completely understand. I've been there myself, and I hate it. But to really dig your heels in and go back and tear someone else down and try and bring up other things that are nothing to do with the original point, deflection. It's a very common response, but it's really not a healthy response. And it's something I've learned over the years to be aware of, and I can spot it quite easily now, I guess, now that I'm older and I feel like I can read people very well. It just makes me sad. As a fellow human being, I wish we had more compassion for people. And hey, I haven't used AI, but I have used other people's work for inspiration before. Recently I'm so caught up in my own stuff that I haven't really done that. I've been taking suggestions from people. I've been working around the clock to do what I can. So I've kind of had my head in my own little bubble. But in the past, there have been times where I've looked and seen, what's doing well? What can be done here? The difference is I wouldn't steal someone's work or use AI to create something like that. And I just want to know what your thoughts are about AI. Can you use it in a good way? I think there are a lot of things that you use AI for, and it's a telltale sign. I also understand the environmental impact that AI has, which I didn't know originally at first, but I do now. And a lot of people aren't aware of that. So I implore you to look into that as well, because that's a whole other subject. But in terms of AI, I used to think it might be good to get guidance or assistance with an idea if you have the basis of it and you're just at a point where you're stuck. Now I haven't used it since finding out its implications or its impact on the environment. I kind of just figure it out, I guess. But there are so many ways to do our research and to find inspiration and everything that I'm just curious as to what other people think, and maybe as to how others might react. If you get called out on something, how hard is it for you to just say, shit, yeah, you know what, I messed up. It's not easy. How many of us have lashed out before and tried to make ourselves the victim, or tried to flip it around on someone else? When I say make ourselves the victim, it can be, you did this, or I'm going through so much, as if it's an excuse to be the way we are. It's not. But we can say, hey, look, I'm so sorry. I was going through some things, but I shouldn't have done that. I think that's a bit more respectful than saying, I'm going through all of this, and listing all these awful things, and then acting like we're not at fault. Does that make sense? And I can imagine a lot of us, if not now, that in the past we would have acted like that, and we would have lashed out, or we would have tried to cover something up and insist it wasn't our fault. And that's okay. I think there's a lot that can be said in learning from that. And I completely hold my hands up. I used to be like that. As little as 7 years ago, I lost a friend because I insisted that I hadn't said something to protect her or protect a friend from the lies that she was saying. And instead of saying, yeah, you know what, I did tell our friend because I wanted them to know the truth, I lied about it, and I said I didn't say that. He must have found that out from someone else. And I don't know why I lied. I guess I didn't want to come across as a liar, and then in fact lied again. And it was a really stupid situation because I was doing it for moral good. But because it was in between two friends, it was a tricky situation. And I said, no, it wasn't me. But he should have known that information. And I lost a friend for it. And ultimately now I know it's fine. It is what it is. But I'm no saint. But I'll admit that. And that's all I wanted to say really on the subject. I don't want anyone harassing anyone. I don't want anyone dragging this out any more than it needs to be, in keeping it here and be done with it. But I think it's a very important thing to address. And yeah, I'm not really one for drama, but I do feel things and I want to get it out, acknowledge it, and then move on. So if you watched this far, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And do leave a little comment, because I can actually monetize from these videos if you want, but no pressure. And I will see you for the next one. Okay? Take care. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.